Introduction by Norman Mailer. In any amateur approach to weighty subjects, the perils are obvious. They need hardly be cited. Yet there's one advantage. You are not obliged to be loyal to the expertise you have studiously acquired, and you do not have to confront the displeasure of one's learned colleagues by forcing them to come face to face with a radically new concept. Of course, amateurs rarely succeed. I offer the interviews that follow as an example. I am obviously ignorant of most of the intellections required of a competent theologian. My colleague in these interviews, Michael Lennon, while not a formal student of the subjects, is at least reasonably well versed in the concepts we discuss. But what will be evident to anyone who has studied such matters is how truly untutored I am. I offer nothing but my own ideas, which is the classic error of the amateur. How, then, can I defend the venture? The answer may be legitimate. I have spent the last 50 years trying to contemplate the nature of God. If I speak specifically of 50 years, it is because my pride in the initial 30-odd years of my life was to be an atheist. How much more difficult and honorable I then considered that to be, rather than having a belief in an almighty divinity. I was a novelist, after all, as will be noted frequently in these interviews, so I was intensely, even professionally, aware of the variety and complexity of human motivation and its offspring, morality. It took a good number of years to recognize that I did believe in God, that is, believed there is a divine presence in existence. On occasion, I even contemplated the philosophical need to approach what might be the characteristics of such an enigma. Whenever I tried, however, to advance my notions by readings in theology, I was repelled. The works were studies, for the most part, of the unstated but dictatorial injunction to have faith. They were undernourished in their appetite for inquiry and full of ideological dicta. To say again, I am a novelist. The best of us spend our lives exploring what might be human reality. In consequence, the conviction grew that I had a right to believe in the God I could visualize. An imperfect, existential God doing the best he or she could manage against all the odds of an existence that not even he, our Creator, entirely controlled. Note the possessive, our Creator. God, as I could visualize such a being, was an artist, not a lawgiver, a mighty source of creative energy, an embattled moralist, a celestial general engaged in a celestial war, but never a divinity who was all-good and all-powerful. While I was aware that somewhere on this scholarly horizon a group called process theologians were also questioning the perfection of God, my instinct was to continue to work alone in these speculations until Michael Lennon proposed these interviews. Of their shortcomings I am aware, and doubtless also unaware, but my philosophical reconnaissances are, after all, not so unique. A good part of humanity may also be devoted, usually in deepest privacy, to exploring their intuition of what God and the devil might be all about. Such people explore all those aspects that no church seems ready to approach. All apologies now delivered, I invite the reader to these dialogues. I hope and expect they will be rewarded with a few new ideas.
On God. 1. On God as the artist. Scientists believe that the universe is expanding. Is this accelerating nature of the cosmos reflected in your concept of a God who can grow and develop?
I start from another direction. Having been a novelist all my working life, I may know a little about human beings. I should. They have been my study. You might say my theological notions come out of such questions as, who are we? What are we? How do we develop? Why, indeed, are we in existence? And is there the presence of a creator in what we do? So the larger cosmic speculations are of less interest to me. In truth, I would hate to rely on the ever-changing state of advanced physics for my ideas.
In places, you've said that God and the devil are lesser divinities in liege to larger powers who might be the ultimate creators. Who or what do you feel is the ultimate power in the universe? Who created the universe?
I feel the same about the ultimate creator as I feel about the expanding universe. All that is